Once upon a time, there were two sisters, Ella and Daphne, living in a small, lush village in Anatolia. Ella was 9 years old and Daphne was 7. Ella was a quiet child who loved to read books. Daphne was active, cheerful, and always wanted to play. The siblings had a great love for each other, but recently there had started to be small disagreements between them. Ella thought she had grown up and found Daphne's games childish. Daphne, on the other hand, complained that her sister was always buried in books. One day their mother said, "Girls, this summer we have to work more in your father's orchard in the village. That's why you will help me in the garden every morning." Although Ella and Daphne did not like this decision at first, they liked the idea of helping their mother. Besides, getting up early in the morning could be fun. The next morning they got up before sunrise. As Ella and Daphne walked towards the orchard with baskets in their hands, the chirping of birds and the coolness of the morning cheered them up. However, Daphne quickly got bored when the fruit picking started. She wanted to play and distracted Ella by talking all the time. Ella said, "Daphne, can you be a little quiet? If we finish our work, we can go home faster." Daphne pouted. "You are always serious too. What if we have some fun?" She replied. The rest of the day was quiet. Neither of them said much to each other. This did not go unnoticed by their mother, but she did not intervene immediately. She wanted them to learn something. A few days passed like this. There were small arguments between Ella and Daphne. Sometimes they spent the evening without speaking to each other. Then, one afternoon, it suddenly started to get dark. The sky was covered with gray clouds and the wind became harsh. Their mother said, "Children, a storm is coming. We should take the baskets in the garden and go back home immediately." They all ran to the garden together. But just then Daphne stepped on a stone and fell to the ground. She hurt her knee and could not walk. "Ella, Mom, we have to carry Daphne. We should go back home before the weather gets worse." Her mother asked, "I'll get the baskets. Can you carry your sister?" Ella said, "Of course," without hesitation. Daphne muttered, "But I am heavy." Ella replied, "Since you are my sister, it is my duty to help you." Ella took Daphne on her back and slowly walked towards the house. The wind was so strong that it was very difficult to walk, but Ella did not give up. Her mother was constantly encouraging Ella as she followed behind them. When they finally reached home, everyone was tired but safe. That night, Daphne hugged her sister and said, "Ella, thank you so much for carrying me today. I really apologize. I might have made you very angry lately." Ella smiled. "It is true that you made me angry, but you are my sister. I will always protect you, because being a brother requires this." When her mother heard this conversation, she sat next to them and said, "Being a brother does not mean always agreeing with each other, but brotherhood means supporting each other even in the most difficult times. Your siblings give you the biggest support in life." After that day, Ella and Daphne became more understanding towards each other. Ella tried to play with Daphne when she wanted to play games, and Daphne respected when her sister wanted to read a book. They even started to have more fun doing chores in the garden together. During the summer, Ella and Daphne learned not only how to pick fruit, but also how to bond more closely with each other. At the end of the summer, their mother said, "I am proud of you. You have worked hard in the garden, but most importantly, you have strengthened your bond of sisterhood." After that day, there was never a big fight between Ella and Daphne. Even if they had small disagreements, they remembered that they were sisters and immediately made up. They always supported each other against the difficulties of life and accumulated an unforgettable summer memory for years. Being siblings meant carrying two different hearts in the same heart. They understood this.